Hi, I'm Bart Hansen. I'm the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. We're the only training site that's dedicated to increase your win rate at live casino poker games. We do these call-in shows every week. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. You have a hand here from Commerce 5-5. I spent quite a bit of time there. I was just there over the weekend. All right, shoot, go for it.
Okay. So, I've got a limp from under the gun in middle position, and then I'm in the cutoff. I have King 10 of hearts.
Okay.
I raised to 20. I think that all the villains cover me. It's around 700 effective.
Okay.
That's about my stat.
Got it.
The button calls,
Uh-huh.
and the other two limpers call.
Okay.
Everybody in the hand is like fairly competent. One is like a dealer. Yeah, we'll
That doesn't mean that they're competent, especially if they're a dealer, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, she was playing, but yeah, she was playing very aggressive and kind of knew what she was doing. She was check raising draws and such, like something that is not every 5-5 player.
Okay. Fair enough.
So the flop comes 10 of spades, 4 of hearts, deuce of hearts.
So you're the raiser, and the flop comes 10 of spades, deuce of spades, 4 of hearts. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So
10 of spades, sorry, 10 of spades, deuce of hearts, 4 of hearts. So I flop top pair and flush draw.
okay, so pretty big flop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Checks to me, I bet out 55,
Okay.
and all 3 people will call.
All 3 people call? Wow. Okay. This is interesting because you get into these weird spots in these cap games. Although you're not even that capped. I mean, you've started with over 100 big blinds. It looks like the pot is like, what, like $300, something like that, probably now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit over 300 going to the turn.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is kind of where I got thrown off. So the turn's a 5 of clubs,
Uh-huh.
and it checks to me again, and I bet out 205.
So you do have the button right to your left, right? Like you're not last to act. You've got one person to your left, right?
Correct.
And what's the deal with the button? I mean, is there any?
The button is honestly probably he's the most solid player of the 3.
Yeah.
He's just obviously thinking player. I saw him call down a guy 3 streets with like third pair and be good. I played a hand against him where he was like pushing for value with top pair, top kicker, and we chopped the pot. Just he's definitely someone that he takes his time with every decision, and I would say he was probably the best player at the table.
I mean, I don't think that it's all. I mean, I think your sizing is a little bit large. I mean, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, you don't want to play a pot this big with just one pair. You don't want to get driven off of your flush draw. But even you've got 3 specific opponents here. I still feel like you have the best hand here a ton. I mean, the only thing that the 5 does is, it really completes ace 3. If somebody was calling with the ace 3, that's pretty much all that it really does, right? I mean, I don't know how crazy these guys are if they're ever calling with like 6-3, but you're either ahead or you're still behind, and really you're only behind at ace 10, unless of course somebody's kind of slow playing. But I see Zambroda in the chat too. I might bet like 125 to 150. I think the sizing might be a little bit large, but then again, it's 5-5, it's the Commerce, it's a jungle, and if you think that anybody's calling with a 10, I guess it can be okay.
I think that the dynamic of the table was like very aggressive, and people were kind of people were betting big, and there was a lot of 3 betting at this time. So I felt that if anyone had Jack 10, Queen 10, they were definitely calling, and then any other like random draws that may be there.
Right.
Like, I don't know. But yeah, I kind of froze here. I wasn't really sure. I worried that if I checked, it would just kind of like look so weak or give someone else an opportunity to take it down, because then I get bet into and it's a little strange.
Yeah, but you don't. But again, though, there's a difference between you being out of position on the turn here, right? And then that's why it's important that there's only one guy left to act. I mean, you could check, and then if it gets checked through, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, there are some one-liners and stuff out there. I don't hate a bet. I'm just saying that it's not as big a deal
Yeah.
as I think that you think it is by
Okay.
checking and then like feigning some sort of weakness. Because, like I said, the only thing that five changes is the fact that ace three gets there, unless somebody was slow playing something anyways. Like, say, for example, you check this through and the button checks, and now the river is like a seven. And then it gets checked to you again. You know what I mean? You can value bet, or if you feel like somebody might have ace 10, I guess you could check it back. Queen 10 is probably a check. King 10's probably a bet. But then let's say the river's a seven and like okay, now somebody bets like, 100 or something like that. You can call, you still have your heart draw. It's just not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you bet
Okay.
205.
So I bet 205,
Yeah.
and the button calls, and the other two fold.
So the guy who's competent calls, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so the river here is a brick. It's a seven of diamonds.
So the pot is
So the
705, right? And you have about 400. If I've done this right, you've got about 400 left, right? What did you say the river was?
a seven of
Seven of
diamonds.
diamonds. Okay. Yeah.
Um, and I thought for a while, and I just felt like my hand looked like an overpair. The best case scenario with betting is folding out ace 10. So I just checked. I
hmm
just didn't think that this guy was going to call.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't hate that. I don't hate checking. The thing is that when you hold two hearts in your hand like this, because I'm assuming this is what's going to happen. I don't know. If you check and he bets, I would think if he's competent, the way that your hand looks and the amount of strength that you've shown by betting the flop and by betting the turn, he really shouldn't have that much of a bluffing frequency. And this is almost like I always bring it back to like saying, whatever you want to call it, Fifth Street Chicken. This isn't really a Fifth Street Chicken thing, but this is where I give the example of how you can check fold when nothing changes except for the fact that your opponent bets. This is exactly right out of the playbook of this is like a deuce to seven no limit hand, which is basically a single draw hand that's played at the World Series, where you watch it. If you watch the live stream, if you watch Tuckman on the live stream, like guys will raise from up front, they'll get called in position. The guy in position will draw one. The guy from up front will pat. The guy from up front will check, and then the guy in position will either bet or he'll check back. And a lot of times when he bets, the guy from up front folds. There's no other information except for the fact that the guy in position has bet. Here, it's almost like the same thing. You check, which I think is fine, but if the guy bets, you probably should check fold, especially when you hold two of the hearts in your hand as like kind of blocking him from having a flush draw.
yeah, yeah. Well, I felt like, okay, so I check, and he bets, he thinks for like a long time, and then he bets 315.
Okay,
Um,
so you're getting about what, maybe 3.5 to 1?
uh, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So he bets
Um,
315. Okay.
I felt like the fact, like, if I'm going to call down here, I felt like King 10 of Hearts was better than, like, well, I mean, definitely better than Ace 10 of Hearts, because I just felt like the King of Hearts doesn't block so many flush draws that he would be calling with, and then he has, like, basically every ace flush draw.
Every ace X flush draw. Well, remember though, the thing is that
Besides King, Ace, Queen.
yeah, but look at the board distribution though too, right? So say he doesn't have ace king and ace queen because he three bets those, right? Now
Yeah.
ace three is a straight, right? Now ace three is a straight, ace three of hearts is a straight, ace five of hearts is a pair, ace seven of hearts is a pair. So if he's not turning a hand into a bluff, now I know you say he's a good player, but I
hmm
really do feel strongly about the fact that people at this level rarely are going to turn a pair into a bluff in this spot. So now you're really only looking at ace six, ace eight, ace nine, and like ace jack. There's really only
Yeah.
3 or 4 specific nut flush draw combos that are unpaired here that aren't a straight. So I
Yeah.
think it's overly optimistic. Yes, the board is a little bit draw heavy in the sense for him to continue to call, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's got like a nuttish hand here, an ace three. I would just be very, very surprised if he turns over a bluff here. Um, 315, so it's like 10, 20, something like that, 315 to call. I'd be
Mhm.
surprised if he turns over a bluff here, one out of, say, like 4 1/4, 4.5 times for you to be good here. You need to be good here, like, I mean, I know you don't need to be good here all that much between, well, if you're getting almost, you're getting 3.5 to 1, so 3 to 1's 25, 4 to 1's 20, so like maybe 22% of the time, something like that, but I just wouldn't expect you to be good here.
Yeah.
And
So
what is,
you'd fold.
I would, yeah, what ended up happening?
I called. He had a weird hand. He flopped a set of fours and
Hmm.
then just didn't raise with the draws.
Yeah. Yeah, just one of those things. Maybe it's like an experience type thing, but with you blocking some of the hearts, it's just I think it's very very optimistic. I know you're getting a price, um, but I think that you up till then I think it was played fine, except for the fact that maybe the turn bet's a little bit large.
Hmm.
But then on the river, I think you get a check fold. Okay. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA100. Click on the link right there.